Welcome to the Unicorn Connector Show, where we talk about relationships, revenue, and referrals. We'll dig into opportunities for people to generate revenue by making referrals from the relationships they establish. We'll also cover tips to grow your network, leverage it, and get paid residual income for life. Today, we are talking about the unicorn DNA. Unicorns are abundant, collaborative, and want to help the helpers live a lifestyle of joy. The unicorn DNA was created by Unicorn Universe as a way to identify the kind of people that we want to connect with, the kind of people that we want in our community, the kind of people that we believe will support one another in accomplishing their goals and living a lifestyle of more joy. The unicorn DNA is a core component to the Unicorn Universe ecosystem because it outlines the people that make the community what it is and why it is so magical. And you, as a unicorn connector, have an important role by finding people that fit the unicorn DNA. You as a connector should fit the unicorn DNA. And if you don't, if there are elements of it that you feel like you can improve in, then improve. Because these elements of the unicorn DNA are so important to being a good person all around that you should want to live by these elements and be the person that embodies this DNA and bring people together who also fit this DNA. And so today, I wanted to briefly touch on each element of the unicorn DNA in a special episode, a birthday episode of Unicorn Universe, as we are turning 2 years old this year, and we wanted to celebrate the unicorn DNA and the Unicorn Universe, and so it made perfect sense to talk about it today. So, the unicorn DNA, again, it's all about being abundant and collaborative and good-natured and being reciprocal, and ultimately wanting to help create a community of people creating more joy in each other's lives. And so when I'm going through these different elements, I'm going to state the element of the unicorn DNA, and then I'm going to mention why it's important for connectors to focus on these elements as they're connecting with new people. So the unicorn DNA states that you're driven to accomplish your dreams. And when you're connecting with people, it's important that you know what your dreams are and that you're driven to accomplish them, because it is so important for you as a connector to know what the dreams are that you're trying to accomplish. So when you meet somebody who can help you accomplish those dreams, you tap into that and you leverage that relationship to potentially accomplish your dreams faster. And not only that, but you should know what other people's dreams are in your network. So when you find somebody that can help them achieve their dreams, you can make connections that help people achieve their dreams. And it's so important that you know that and that you focus on the dreams, because when you do that and you connect people and you ask them what they can help people with, you can potentially help somebody achieve their dreams. It's a magical thing. So the next element says that you want to collaborate to build a better future by connecting with people who are purpose-driven to make a positive impact in the world, and you're focused on collaborating with people that want to do the same and build a better future. You can align people that have similar missions that do exactly that, build a better future, and put them together to let them collaborate about ways that they can create a positive impact in the world. The next element is that you live abundantly and look for ways to add value. Now, this is such an important element to the unicorn DNA, and one of the fastest ways I can tell if somebody is simply not a fit is when they don't live abundantly and they don't look for ways to add value. It's all take, take, take. Who wants my service? Who can I give my business card to? Who can I sell the next thing to? And those are people that are generally just not thinking abundantly. It's when you think about, how can I provide value to you? What can I give you that'll make your life better? What can I do to support you in one way or another before ever asking for anything? You should never ask for something before you've given something, some sort of value. Because if you do, you might ruin that relationship and never hear from the person again. But when you live abundantly and you provide and you give and you contribute to somebody's life in one way or another, personally, professionally, financially, however you do it, by adding that value in their life, then you can ask for something in return and almost expect it. Now, you shouldn't be doing things just to expect something in return, but when you give so much, it shouldn't be that difficult for you to ask for something in return, or at least accept it when it's given back to you. And so living abundantly and looking for ways to add value creates so much strength in your relationship with new people that you connect with, that it is such an important element to the unicorn DNA that you need to implement it. Live abundantly as much as you can. Look for ways to add value. I challenge you to look online, find out what it means to think in abundance, and do it. Somebody once recommended to me that as I'm driving around, I come up with a total dollar amount of how much it would have cost to build everything that I saw. And it quickly became in the hundreds of millions, if not more. And what that taught me was that in a short 5-minute drive, if I can get to $100 million, that there is an abundance of money and resources and people and opportunities in this world that you should never have to think with a scarcity mindset that if somebody takes X, Y, or Z, that it's taking from you. Because if somebody gets that, it wasn't for you in the first place. It's for somebody else. And yours is right around the corner. But not if you sit there and dwell on it. You need to take that experience and just keep going. And understand that there's more. There's more and more and more and more of just about everything in the world. There's an abundance of whatever you need. So don't be afraid that somebody's going to take from you, especially if you can contribute to them growing. Let's say you got a lead that you knew was not the right customer for your service. You can either try your hardest to sell them, or you can set up a referral partnership with somebody else who is the right solution for that lead, and you send it to them. And you don't need to say, hey, I sent you one, send me one. But they might just do that naturally because they want to. So by living abundantly and looking for ways to add value, even by giving a potential customer to somebody else, just because you know that they're the right fit for them, you might just receive something in return. And if not directly from them, potentially from somebody else doing the same thing. Because by doing that, you're putting it out there into the world that that's what should be done. And that takes me to unicorns being honest and ethical with genuinely good intentions. That's the next element of the unicorn DNA, which comes down to exactly that. Providing a service that you know you're the best solution for, that you know that it's the right solution for whoever it is that you're talking to, and being that solution for them because you have the right intentions in place, and knowing that if you're not the right solution, you'll connect them with somebody else. Because if you're a business owner and you're selling something and the prospect is, because if you're a business owner and you're selling something and the prospect is not the right prospect for your services, they can become a huge pain client to deal with. They won't be happy with your services. You won't be happy that you sold them, and it's going to end badly anyway. But if you have the mindset to be honest and ethical with good intentions, you won't do that sort of thing. You'll set up partnerships with other companies that provide the services where you have gaps, and you'll refer business to them. And when you connect with people who are close fit to your business, but they fit better with somebody else's, you'll refer business to them. Why spend any time on a headache client when you can refer that to somebody else, get paid a percentage, and keep working with your best customers? That's why being honest and ethical with genuinely good intentions is such an important part of the unicorn DNA too. Now, how does that apply to connectors? People that are out finding new business, finding connections to make referrals to different partners. Well, as you do that, if you do have partnerships set up with other companies, there's a monetary value there. And sometimes it might be more advantageous to your bottom line to refer that customer to one partner versus another because of the dollar amount. And that's fine if they provide equal services. They probably don't. That customer is probably better off with one partner over the other. And if you, as a connector, send them to the partner for monetary reasons over good intentions, you potentially have destroyed that relationship. And they might not ever find out. But when you do it with the right intentions and they end up working with the right partner and it's amazing for them, they're going to want to keep connecting with you and getting introduced to other people that you introduce them to. So be intentional with honest and good ethical intentions when you're connecting people to other people. Do it from a place that you honestly think is the right solution for them. Now, the next element I want to talk about is the unicorn DNA strand that says you look for opportunities to create joy in others' lives. Now, this one is so important because it directly supports the whole mission of Unicorn Universe, that our mission is to foster a community of unicorns creating joy. And so the connectors who are helping us build the community need to help us find people who also look for opportunities to create joy in others' lives. And by finding those people that are passionate about bringing joy into other people's lives and bringing them into the community, it directly supports our mission. It helps us find people, unicorns, that are creating joy in other people's lives. It is that simple. And by helping other people that want to create more joy in the world and that are looking for opportunities to do so, and we continue to build the community of people that want to do that, and we continue to support them and lift them up and drive referrals to them and add fuel to the fire, we can create so much joy in this world, and we can support so many people creating joy in other people's lives too, because of that ripple effect. Now, if you're a unicorn, then you want to impact the world and make a difference. That's what the next strand of the unicorn DNA says. And so if you're looking to build the community and you're looking to create joy in other people's lives and you want to make an impact in the world, a positive impact, then by connecting people that create joy in other people's lives with other people that create joy in other people's lives, and we continue to bring people together that are focused on bringing people up and sharing resources and collaborating and aligning businesses that are focused on a social impact or global impact cause that does make a positive difference in the world, we can connect people to help each other leverage each other's resources, minimize the time we spend on the things that we don't love, and maximize our output on the things that we do the best and really enjoy doing it. Because so often in business, we get distracted by all these other things that sound like great revenue opportunities when they distract from the mission and the purpose of the company and the highest revenue generating activities that you could be spending all of your time on. But instead you start doing these other things because you think that you can make more doing this. And if you add this component, you can make more money doing that. But sometimes it's not the right solution. And so by aligning with companies that have a similar mission to you, that complement your weaknesses with their strengths, they can alleviate the time that you spend on the things you don't love doing, so you can focus on the mission you have and impact the world in a far greater way. Give you the time to spend more time studying and researching and doing competitive analysis and doing all the things that you wouldn't have time for if you were dealing with the things that you're not the best at. Doing things to continuously develop your mind. Which brings me to the next strand of the unicorn DNA, that unicorns are open-minded and strive for continuous development. Now, how does this apply to connectors? And why is this a strand of the unicorn DNA? Because by being open-minded, you can see opportunities and connections and connect with people that you might not have otherwise connected with if you didn't have an open mind. Sometimes you will look at somebody's LinkedIn profile, for example, and give it a 5-second glance and say, nope, not a fit. That's terrible. What if they haven't updated their profile in 5 years? Very common. What if they have connections? What if they didn't add things that they put on their profile? By closing them out from being in your network, by closing anybody out for that matter, you limit your growth and apply a scarcity mindset. And so by being open-minded and striving for continuous development, you look for opportunities to grow in a different way. You look for lessons to be learned from people that are in industries that don't even make sense. You look for ways to continuously develop your network by connecting with people in industries that you don't think you can provide a service to. You never know who you're talking to knows. Let me say that again. You never know who somebody else knows that you're talking to when you're talking to them. You could be talking to somebody that knows the exact person that can open the door to you accomplishing your dreams. But if you close your mind off from this connection, you will never know it, and you might just delay the time that it takes for you to achieve your dreams. Have a short conversation with them. Take it from there. You never know. Now, that brings me to one of the most important strands of the unicorn DNA that directly applies to connectors, that you value meeting new people. And keeping an open mind when you meet new people can be a great way to find new opportunities. And so you meet new people, and you love it, and you keep connecting with people, you have conversations, and you continue to find new opportunities and people at places that you never would have expected, at the park, at the gas station, at the gym, maybe at the office, maybe in a meeting, maybe in a Zoom call, maybe on LinkedIn, wherever it is. You value meeting new people, and that's such an important part of the unicorn DNA. And a perfect segue into the next strand, which is that you surround yourself and do business with the right people. Now, sometimes people really are not a fit. You have a conversation with them. Maybe they don't align with your values. Maybe they don't support your mission. Maybe they're all take. Maybe they want nothing to do with you. Maybe they don't show up. Whatever it is, however you determine that somebody's not the right people is up to you. But knowing what your values are and your standards, and then staying true to those, is how you surround yourself and do business with the right people. It's not necessarily about the right company size or revenue amount or industry or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about with the unicorn DNA. We're talking about being around people that are supportive and aligned, and then doing business with them and not deviating from that. Especially if one of your values is to be honest and ethical. You never want to deviate from that one, because you only want to do business with people that are honest and ethical with genuinely good intentions. And that can be hard to find. And that's why you need to surround yourself and do business with the right people. Those kind of people. The people that you align with, that embody the personality traits that you are looking for. Get clear on these things. The unicorn DNA is everything I look for when I connect with new people. And that's how I build my network of people to do business with, is by focusing on these elements of the DNA. And so these might be different for you. And so that might be different for you. And that's fine. However you want to define the elements of what you look for in a new connection to decide that you want to do business with them is entirely up to you. But be open to new perspectives and be creative about it, which is also one of the strands of the unicorn DNA, is that you're not too stuck in your ways to not listen to somebody else's perspective. And so this next strand is that you are creative and open to new perspectives. So think about that. When you are speaking with new people, they might have some insight that could change how you think about something, which is going to bring me to the next strand of the unicorn DNA, which is that you know what you stand for and stick to your beliefs. Now, these two might sound contradictory, but you got to know what you stand for, and you do want to stick to your beliefs. But when we talk about being open to new perspectives, sometimes that might change your beliefs. But being open to those alternative perspectives should help you restructure, if need be, those things that you believe in, those things that you stand for. Because sometimes it happens. Sometimes a conversation will happen and all of a sudden you're thinking completely differently about something you've stood for your entire life because somebody explained why it doesn't make sense. And that's fine. And that's why it's important to be open to new perspectives. But if it's something that you firmly believe in, you don't deviate from that belief unless somebody else is expressing to you why it's important that you consider an alternative belief. That's up to you. But at the end of the day, you're not going to worry about what other people think, which is the next strand of the unicorn DNA. Unicorns are not worried about what other people think. And so while it's important to know what you stand for and stick to your beliefs and be open to new perspectives, it's also important to not let other people's beliefs and perspectives and values and all of that affect you from a place that you're actually worrying about what other people think about you. Look, we all come from different places. We all have different beliefs, different values, different standards, different heritages. So don't worry about what other people think. Who cares? Be yourself. Let go. Just don't worry about it. It's okay for you to be authentically you. That doesn't mean go crazy, and that doesn't mean be rude if you think that you're a rude person, but that just means that you're not going to be worried about what other people think, as long as you have genuinely good intentions. And at the end of the day, so this brings me to the next unicorn DNA strand, you're able to let go, have a good time, and be yourself. Because if you can't, and you're living in this fear of what somebody will think about you, then you're not going to be able to do all the other things that we've talked about. You're not going to live in flow, and you're certainly not going to embody the next strand of the unicorn DNA, which says that you are uplifting and have a positive outlook on life. Because if you're consistently worried about what other people think, then you're not thinking very positively. And you can't be very uplifting if you're worried about what other people are going to think. If you think you can lift somebody up, then do it. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about you for that. Let's say you're walking by a homeless person with a group of friends, and you say, oh, I want to give somebody $5. And one of your friends says, no, don't contribute to that. Or they say that's stupid. And you get embarrassed and you put the $5 back in your pocket and you walk on your merry little way. What if you found out that all that guy needed was $5 to get through what would have been his next meal when the meal before was his last meal? Imagine that you could have potentially saved somebody's life because you weren't worried about what other people think. So be yourself. Be yourself. Let go. Have a good time. Be yourself. Don't let what other people's judgments say affect you. Do what you can to uplift others and have a positive outlook on life. So what? So what? You don't want to contribute? That's up to you. Not my problem. Maybe you were given to when you needed it, and now you're reciprocating. Which brings me to the next element of the unicorn DNA, that you are naturally reciprocal. When something's given to you, you give back to the world. When somebody does something nice for you, you do something nice for somebody else, or them, whoever it is. But that's part of you. That's part of what you want to do, is reciprocate and support other people and be there to give back to those people when they give to you or other people. But you know that by being reciprocal and giving things to others is a great way to show gratitude for something that was given to you. And not everybody has something to give. Not everybody has something to provide to you in value. And you might be able to make connections for somebody else. You might be able to add tons of value for new connections for somebody that doesn't seem to be able to add a ton of value to your life. But that's okay, because you're accepting of others, which is the last part of the DNA, that you are accepting of others. We're all different people. We all have different personalities. And as you're connecting with new people, that person you're connecting with might be able to solve somebody else's problem. They might be able to help somebody else achieve their dreams. You never know who somebody knows when you're talking to them. So be accepting of them. People are weird. In fact, the normal ones are the weird ones. And if you don't understand that and you judge people, then you're not building a solid community, because you're building a community of judgmental people. If you don't allow people into your life because of a quirk or a weird thing that they might have said, it happens. Some people need to be cut out of your life. But at the end of the day, You're not judging people before you should. And so all of these elements tie together the unicorn DNA and are exactly the kind of people that we want to connect with, and that we encourage you connect with us, and that we encourage you connect with each other. If you find two people that sound like these kind of people, connect them, bring them together, just because they're great people. So many people think, oh, well, what's in it for me? How can we collaborate? How can we do business together when you make a new introduction? And sometimes that's important to know if that's what they're looking for. But sometimes you're just making introductions because you think that they'll be great friends, because you think their personalities go well. As long as you have genuinely good intentions when you're making connections for new people, that's all that should really matter. So, as you're connecting with new people, and if you're an official unicorn connector, I want you to really pay close attention to all of the things that I just explained about the unicorn DNA. And if you're bringing people into the community of unicorns, I want you to make sure they fit this unicorn DNA for those reasons that we talked about. And by all means, if you find somebody that fits the unicorn DNA and they're a magical person that should be part of the blessing, then we absolutely want to meet with them. And if this sounds like you, then I absolutely want to meet with you. So let's tie it all up. The unicorn DNA means that you are driven to accomplish your dreams. You want to collaborate to build a better future. You live abundantly and look for ways to add value. You are uplifting and have a positive outlook on life. You want to impact the world and make a difference. You look for opportunities to create joy in others' lives. You're able to let go, have a good time, and be yourself. You're open-minded and strive for continuous development. You're naturally reciprocal. You're accepting of others. You value meeting new people. You are creative and open to new perspectives. You're not worried about what other people think. You know what you stand for and stick to your beliefs. You're honest and ethical with genuinely good intentions. You surround yourself and do business with the right people. And those are the elements of the unicorn DNA. If that sounds like you, let's absolutely connect. If you're looking to generate revenue by being a connector or by getting referrals for your existing business, then check out how Unicorn Universe creates abundance through connections in our community by going to unicornconnector.com. That's unicornconnector.com. Stay tuned, follow us, and hit the subscribe button as we expand on ways to grow your network, generate income from opportunities we avail, interview our partners and connectors, and show you how to become the magical unicorn connector that you are.